In 2001, a show called Pop Idol debuted in the UK. Its success led Simon Cowell to pitch an American version to every major network, a process that went so badly that one executive interrupted him a minute in and asked him to leave. Eventually, Fox took the risk, and in the summer of 2002, they aired the first season of American Idol.
American Idol.
He's an and he can kiss mom.
A new series Tuesday, June 11th on Fox.
What followed would change television and the music industry in ways nobody saw coming. My name is Cody, and this is the story of American Idol and the waitress who won it. In the early 2000s, reality television went through what can only be described as a television renaissance. One of the main contributors was in 2000 when Survivor premiered on CBS. The show had an incredibly large viewership every week, and the finale drew in a whopping 51 million people. The network saw these numbers and immediately started chasing it. By 2002, we had Big Brother, Temptation Island, Fear Factor, and a dozen other shows attempting to catch lightning in a bottle twice. The genre was already starting to feel crowded and repetitive, and audiences were beginning to fatigue. And then there was the music side of things. MTV, which had spent the 80s and 90s being the single most powerful vehicle for new talent, had largely abandoned its premise and walked away from being a dedicated channel for music videos. The record labels were scrambling to figure out how to get their artists in front of large audiences and promote their music. Then came an increase in piracy through companies like Napster. The world was quickly changing, and a new generation of people were trying to figure out a way to adapt. This is when Fox stepped in and decided to take a chance on American Idol. At the time, it was risky, but think about it. This was a television show that was only for singing and put the voting in the hands of the American people to determine the outcome. It also had a strict age range at the time of 16 to 24 to find the next big star for a new generation. But in 2002, Fox was not in great shape. They'd had a brutal year financially and from a rating standpoint, and they'd already spent their entire original programming budget for the season. Enter the sponsors, Ford, AT&T, and Coca-Cola. These companies put up major money to sponsor Idol, which meant that Fox was making a low-risk bet, hoping the show would succeed. But if it hadn't, then it wouldn't actually hurt them too bad. Once Fox said yes, the clock started ticking. The team had a compressed timeline to build something that had never been done before in America. While other talent competitions like Star Search had existed prior, none of them were quite of the same format as the UK's Pop Idol. 3 essential elements went into making sure this new reality show would be like nothing ever seen before. First was audience voting. The power was taken out of the hands of industry insiders and network execs and given completely to the American people. The public would call in on their phones to decide the outcome every week. Whoever they chose as the winner would win $1 million and a recording contract from RCA Records. Second was drama that came with elimination. Genuine stakes were on the line, and if you didn't vote for your favorite, it was possible they'd be booted off.
But tonight, they have the lowest number of votes. And that person is Jennifer Hudson. Fantasia, you are safe.
And finally, the journey. People became attached to these contestants as they watched their journey for months on the TV show. The parasocial investment was really the secret weapon nobody fully understood yet. Then bring in the panel of judges. Randy Jackson, a well-respected session musician and A&R executive, but largely unknown to the public. Paula Abdul, a massive pop star in the 80s and 90s who was navigating a career transition. And then Simon Cowell, a music exec who had genuine reservations about how his sometimes too brutal honesty would translate to American audiences.
You look a little odd, your dancing is terrible, the singing was horrendous, and you look like one of those creatures that live in the jungle with those massive eyes. What are they called? Bush baby.
You are sick.
Simon, you're crazy.
The chemistry between the three were unmatched, and they became an iconic trio in 2000s pop culture. With the addition of 27-year-old Ryan Seacrest and also Brian Dunkelman, who would later be canned from the show, American Idol was set to debut its first episode on June 11th, 2002.
You at home decide who will become the next American Idol.
About 10 million people tuned in for the premiere, which was respectable, but nothing remarkable. But then what happened next is one of those moments where you can track the exact moment a spark lights a fire. The ratings climbed steadily through the audition episodes. People started talking about it. Pop culture media, magazines, and the early internet couldn't stop talking about it. The auditions were the first time where Simon would show just how brutal he could be. Then, the drama-filled Hollywood week, where the show became more emotional as contestants would be put through what was almost a boot camp to see who could make it in the industry and who couldn't. By the time the live shows began, American Idol had taken off with the country wondering who was going to take the crown. Each week, someone would be eliminated and the field would get smaller and smaller and smaller. At the time, Tamira Gray was the frontrunner and who many thought would win. But then the first ever shocking elimination took place, and America found out that the vote could go wrong.
Tamira. Are eliminated this week.
Not voting for your favorite could get them eliminated, and she finished in 4th place. On September 4th, 2002, the finale aired and drew 22 million viewers, over double what they had during the premiere. For a show that had been such a low bet by Fox and was essentially placed in the death slot during summer programming, Idol shattered all expectations. It then came down to the final two, a 24-year-old charming theater kid named Justin Guarini and a 19-year-old waitress named Kelly Clarkson. Each week, the two of them took the stage and delivered incredible performances.
I don't care how you get it, just get it.
Close to you, you make me feel so alone. You make me feel.
But when the dust settles, there can only be one winner. And on that fateful night in September, Kelly Clarkson took home the crown.
Kelly Clarkson.
The American public got it right, and she went on to be a multi-Grammy winning, multi-platinum recording artist who has proven to be one of the greatest vocalists of our generation. The show's legacy paved the way for other singing competitions like The Voice and X Factor, and discovered countless other artists like Carrie Underwood, Jennifer Hudson, Adam Lambert, and Chris Daughtry. It took what its predecessors like Star Search had done and perfected it. Both television and the music industries were never the same after it, and we will likely never see anything like it again. The show ran on for 15 more seasons before Fox decided to pull the plug and cancel the once television behemoth. It had a beautiful send-off with many contestants returning to show their appreciation. The original judges also returned, and Brian Dunkelman even came back to poke fun at Ryan Seacrest.
Nobody knows the pain of life without Idol more than me.
The show had completed what it set out to do, and Ryan shared one final message before signing off for the final time on Fox.
This is so tough. We say to you from Hollywood, good night, America. For now.
American Idol would soon be picked up by ABC, and while it isn't the gigantic sensation it once was, it still continues to dominate the ratings the night it airs. But that is a story for another video. My name is Cody, and thank you for tuning in. Before you click off this video, I could really use your help in giving some constructive feedback for this video here. This is my first ever YouTube video. I am so excited to start this journey. If you don't know who I am, my name is Cody, obviously, but I come over from TikTok, where I make reaction style content covering American Idol, The Voice, AGT. I have over 1 million followers. It's actually really weird to see myself in this aspect ratio. I'm used to being vertical. But yeah, I could really use some tips on things that you enjoyed or things that you think might need some work. It would be greatly appreciated. I will see you guys in the next one. And as I guess the YouTubers say, please subscribe.